"My child," Mama Ifeok said, "a dark shadow follows you both, but one of you carries more of it. Tell your friend what lies in your heart. Tell your friend what you did and failure to make amends. Both of you will run mad." The two friends looked at each other. It was time for one of them to start talking. The clock was ticking. Sade's hands trembled as Amaka's panicked voice filled her ears, making it difficult to hold the phone steady. A deep fear, worse than any dream, cut through the amnesia that had plagued her for 10 years. Sade remembered everything. It all came back, forming a scary picture her mind had kept hidden for 10 years from her. Two girls in a dim room, their blank eyes, the dark liquid, and that creepy smile that was aimed at something unseen behind them. "Sade, are you there?" Amaka's voice broke through the line, full of fear. "Amaka," Sade whispered. "My gateman saw them too." Fear gripped Sade. Her perfect life had begun to fall apart. The brand deals, the talk show, her many fans, none of it mattered now. Something dark had returned. Ignoring Nkem's worried calls from the living room, Sade grabbed her car keys and ran out. The night air in Lagos felt thick and heavy, full of bad energy. She drove fast towards Amaka's luxury apartment in Victoria Island. Inside, the apartment was a mess. The once neat living room was upside down. Chairs broken, glass shattered. Amaka sat on the floor, shaking, her eyes wide with fear. "They were here, Sade. I saw them," she cried, pointing at an empty corner. "They looked at me, just like that night." Sade knelt beside her, feeling sick with fear. What did they want, Amaka? Amaka shook her head, crying, "I don't know, but it felt like a warning." Suddenly, they heard a loud scream from the hallway. It was Amaka's housekeeper. Sade and Amaka looked at each other in fear and ran towards the sound. They found the housekeeper pressed against the wall, her face pale, staring at a line of white chalk on the marble floor. It led towards Amaka's bedroom. The chalk looked just like what Sade's gate man Ibrahim had described. As they followed the line, a cold wind blew through the closed apartment. The lights went out and they were in darkness. Then came the chanting, low and strange, from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Sade pulled out her phone, but her hands were shaking too much to hold the phone steady. The small lights from the phone showed their scared faces. "We need to leave," Sade said quietly. But when they turned, two figures stood at the end of the hallway. It was the same girls from Iyabo's party. Their faces were thin, their eyes glowing. They wore white wrappers and cowries in their hair. Each held a white calabash. This time, they were not smiling. A cold fear swept over Sade and Amaka. The air felt thick and heavy, and it was hard to breathe. The chanting grew louder, the words sounding strange and ancient, but filled with power and anger. The figures moved closer. Their bare feet made no sound on the marble. The chalk behind them glowed faintly. Amaka screamed, a loud, deep scream of fear. Sade couldn't move. The fear from 10 years ago had come back. The spirit had found them. What did they want in return for the secret they had seen? What death had built up in silence? And was there any escape now that door had been opened? Keep watching and I'll tell you. Suddenly, the lights came on again, blinding them. The figures flickered. They were almost see-through now, and in an instant, they were gone. The two ladies ran out of the apartment. Sade and Amaka went back to Sade's house, where she stayed for some days. Then they went to find Mama Ifeok, a famous seer in Lagos. Her small home felt old and full of power. The smell of herbs and incense filled the air. Mama Ifyok listened closely as Shade told her everything. The party, the nightmares, their visit. Then she looked at Amaka. My child, Mama Ifyok said, a dark shadow follows you both, but one of you carries more of it. Tell your friend what lies in your heart. If you're enjoying this story, do give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel a whole lot. Thank you. Back to the story. The two friends looked at each other. Amaka looked really scared. She stared at Shade with guilty eyes but said nothing. The room went quiet except for the sound of the incense burning. Mama Ifyok turned to Shade. Think back. Tell your friend what you did and failure to make amends. Both of you will run mad. The two friends looked at each other. It was time for one of them to start talking. The clock was ticking. Do you remember anything strange from that night? Maybe a bowl? Shade thought hard. Then she remembered. I remember a big bowl with gold and diamonds kept on top of a silver stand in a dark corner. Yes, she said slowly. We thought it was for decoration. Mama Ifyok looked back at Amaka. Tell your friend what you did. Amaka broke down. Tears rolled down her cheeks. After we ran out, I went back to Yabo's house. I took some of the gold and diamonds from the bowl. I thought no one would notice. Gold and diamonds were so much. Shade stared at her, shocked and angry. You stole? From Yabo? After what we saw? I just wanted to make money, Amaka cried. But I couldn't even sell them. I was too scared to go back to the house to return them. Mama Ifyok sighed. The spirits remember, that bowl was not for decoration. It had a spiritual purpose. You upset the balance. My children, you must find Yabo, she said. Return what you took. Only then can you hope for peace. The two friends searched everywhere for Yabo. They called old schoolmates, friends, even hired detectives, but she was gone. She had vanished. The spirits kept coming. They showed up at night, in the market, even on their phone screens. Their eyes always watching. Their faces filled Shade and Amaka's dreams. Life became a waking nightmare. Months later, a private investigator found Yabo, but she was not the same. She was in a mental hospital. Yabo was now a mental case. Shade and Amaka knew what they had to do. They dressed as nurses and entered the quiet hospital ward. They found Yabo by a window staring blankly. They placed the gold and diamonds on her lap, and before they left, the two friends apologized. Days turned into weeks, and the terrifying visitations ceased. The two women in white no longer haunted their waking hours or their dreams. The oppressive atmosphere that had clung to them for so long finally began to lift, but the repercussions of their actions lingered. Shade's once lucrative career as a television personality began to falter. Brand deals dried up, and her millions of followers seemed to lose interest. Amaka's booming real estate ventures faced unforeseen setbacks, and her social media influence waned. Their wealth and fame suddenly ebbed away, leaving them humbled and stripped bare. They were back to where they started, but this time they carried the hard-earned weight of their experience. Shade and Kem began to rebuild their lives brick by painstaking brick. A year later, their joy was immense as they welcomed their first child, a healthy baby girl who filled their home with laughter and light. Amaka, seeking a new path, enrolled in a fashion design school. Her creativity blossomed, and she discovered a talent she never knew she possessed. It was there that she met Kwame, a kind and genuine young man who was captivated by her resilience and spirit. They dated, fell in love, and after a year, Kwame proposed. Amaka held her breath, the ghost of her past anxieties resurfacing, but this time fate did not intervene. Kwame and Amaka were married in a simple but joyous ceremony surrounded by loved ones. The moral of this tale is clear. Actions, no matter how secret or seemingly insignificant, can have profound and far-reaching consequences. Respect the unseen, honor the sacred, and remember that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in integrity and peace of mind. Let the story serve as a call to examine the choices we make and the potential ripple effect that they may have, not just on ourselves, but on the delicate balance of the world around us. If you enjoy this story, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Tell me what you think of the story in the comment section. Do share the story with a friend or two that you feel will enjoy it. Click on this story to enjoy more African folk tales.